Christian Gonzalez has had an interesting career thus far, despite hardly playing. He is someone who fell all the way to pick 17 in the 2023 draft, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when he was projected to go 7th on the consensus big board, it felt like a pretty big drop-off. However, in some ways, it could have been a blessing in disguise. He got to be with Bill Belichick, who, for all Belichick's faults as he's gotten, in the post-Brady era, he's still been as good as, really better than anybody when it comes to developing cornerbacks. However, Belichick isn't there anymore, so figured it could make for an interesting video to kind of discuss what we saw from Gonzalez in his small sample size, just the 4 games he played. What went right, what went wrong, all of that stuff. Most of it went right, but let's talk about how much can translate, to the next year without having Bill Belichick, all of that stuff. Yeah, let's just get into it. One thing I noticed when watching Gonzalez tape is it did feel like he would give himself moments like this. And I don't know if this is a coaching thing. It might be. It might be Belichick kind of saying, hey, do this until I trust you to play a little bit tighter man coverage. Because right now, it's a one-on-one matchup against, a very good wide receiver. This is against A.J. Brown. And it's also worth just mentioning the situation. This is a 3rd down and 11. So, you don't want to give up 5 yards because of where you are on the field. The Eagles are at their own, at their opponent's 41-yard line. You give up some yards, 2 things can happen. 1, an easier field goal. 2, we know Nick Sirianni loves to go for it on 4th downs, so there's those concerns there. But still, you see this situation. Let's watch how Gonzalez plays it. You're going to see him, he gives a little bit of space here, right? And that's something he's kind of done, which is interesting because he's such a fast corner that you certainly don't think, he certainly doesn't have to give up this much space if he doesn't want to, but he's making the decision too. He ran a 4.3, but he's still, this is the strategic decision he's making here. Because of that, he does give up the catch, but also does make the tackle and makes sure that you don't give up the 1st down on this play. So there is a bit of a question mark on something like this. However, it seemed like these were strategic decisions that he was making. When he was giving up catches, it was in large part because he was kind of intentionally letting guys do this as opposed to just screwing up. Because when he had situations like this where, okay, now this is the 4th down and 2, and it's not the next play. This is a different drive, but 4th down and 2, and a very important point in this football game too. I mean, you look at the final the score right now, it's 25-20. Eagles are up. So if the Eagles get a 1st down right here, that's it. Game's over. They win. The Patriots need a stop, and it's going to be Christian Gonzalez actually who's trying to cover this route once again against A.J. Brown here. Actually, correction, against Devonta Smith. But anyways, let's see what happens when this play begins. Hurts takes a snap, Smith runs over the middle, but now Gonzalez is playing a lot tighter. Again, this is something he can do and certainly will do. And for Hurts, he's saying, hey, I got a really good receiver against a rookie. Let's throw it here. It's not a bad look. But watch Gonzalez close on that one, and honestly, he had a better shot at that ball than Smith did. He was mad at himself for not getting the interception. That would have been a tough interception, though. At the very least, really good job to knock the play down, and hey, again, interception probably hurts you there. It's 4th down and 2. So being able, sure, maybe you get the interception, can get up and run for more yards. There's that. But either way, that was a huge play that gave them a shot, down the stretch. So having an elite corner can beat a difference in football games easily, and really key play there. Let's go over to this play because I think that when you watch Christian Gonzalez, one of the things that just jumps out at you is how well he understands situation. So, for example, this is a 3rd down and 6 right here, and he is very much, it's the Patriots sort of mindset of, we're going to stop you short of the 1st down marker. Again, similar to that first play, it's the kind of thing where giving up 5 yards isn't ideal here, but basically, the logic is, okay, we don't want to give up 5 yards, but we're not giving up 6. So you see the route that Gonzalez is supposed to cover on a one-on-one matchup. And you see that right here, again, at this point is in mostly a pretty good situation. There is now a window where if the, receiver Garrett Wilson cuts towards the outside right now, he could get open. But Gonzalez is basically trusting that if that happens, he'll get over and make a tackle. That is exactly what happens. The ball gets thrown there, but Gonzalez does make a tackle. They gain about 4 yards on that play. So they're not getting the 1st down. And it's the kind of thing where if the new coaching staff likes to do something different, well, then that's what they're going to do, is they're going to tell them, hey, play it tight man coverage all the way. And maybe he'll try it and see how it goes. I don't know. Because, like, then there's just plays like this where it's just a typical situation. Hey, 2nd down and 13, just don't give up, try not to give up a catch, period. You see the route that he's covering. And when this play begins, it's not a bad route whatsoever. It's off screen for a second. But when we come back, you see that there's not separation. It's not a horrible decision, I suppose, of like, hey, at least the, receiver you're throwing to is closer to you than the defensive player. But Gonzalez also finishes this play nicely and is able to knock that ball away. So being able to do both of those things is very, very impressive by Gonzalez. And also something like this, which I just have to show because it's constantly, I feel like every time you look up, Christian Gonzalez big plays or things like that, this is the one that you're seeing on, any specific highlights compilation or anything like that. It was probably his best play of the season. So it's essentially a cover 2 zone play, and he's a safety on this one. That's where he is the guy who's just barely on the screen right here. And, the play concept itself, not really as important. Like, watch as eventually Tua is going to take the snap. He kind of runs a play action and is going to just fire one down the field. Right here, you see the situation. You kind of see why Tua wants to get the ball over there of how, oh, hey, Tyreek down there somewhere. Let me throw it. Okay, I understand it. But at the same time, it just shows the ground Gonzalez can cover to get in this position. And then also watch him box out Tyreek Hill, who, Tyreek Hill doesn't get enough credit for, but he's a good contested catch guy as well. Usually he's open enough that he doesn't have to. But on this one, he wasn't open enough. He had to. And Gonzalez was able to get the win right there as well. So really good stuff from Christian Gonzalez. So honestly, as a whole, I was very impressed with Gonzalez's tape. His losses seemed like when he would purposely put himself in a situation to allow himself to potentially get beat underneath, and even then, it didn't seem like he was losing by a lot, and his wins were just kind of dominant plays. He was capable of making the highlight reel level interceptions, but wasn't only doing that. That's not the only reason that people were impressed with his game. Because again, if you just had some interceptions, then it's like, okay, well, maybe they were bad throws, maybe you just made a couple good plays. Like, you want consistency out of a corner, and so far, Christian Gonzalez has shown great consistency. The only critique you have of him is that he got hurt early on in his career. Like, that's the only criticism you currently have right now, which still, like, it's always concerning when a guy has a long-term injury, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, and I guess, a factor of why that's concerning is just the small sample size. Is it possible he just had a few good games? But I don't know. Rookies aren't supposed to come in and play as well as he played. He was really good. I guess the other concern is, without Belichick, could it make it more difficult? I don't think so. I think he's going to be good. Although I should mention that a lot of corners have had that happen, where they've looked awesome with Belichick, looked less awesome with other teams. That is a thing that happens, but I'm not that concerned about it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.